Hey guys, it's Will. It's Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. Welcome back to part two of Japanese pickups for the Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society archives, film library, whatever you want to call it. I've got a number of Radiance Films releases in this pile is over there, hence why I'm pointing over there, and a couple other things. And I'm very excited to show these off to you. If you're new to the channel and you're not subscribed and you could subscribe, it would be a big help. It does really help. It's a very small thing for you, and I would just be much appreciated. So thank you very much. So, and a shout out to our patrons because anything that is on this channel that is not something that I am sent by a label to review or like a distributor or I know people who work in like the film industry peripherally or like in the in the home video industry. So I have like friends who will like just acquire things for me because they know it's stuff I'm interested in and they'll send it to me. And people I've met over the years who I've become friendly with who will send stuff my way. But anything that's not stuff that people send to me because they think I'll be interested in it is stuff that is purchased with the money from Patreon. That is the budget for our channel. And Patreons get to have a say in what I buy because I'll put up polls and say I'm looking at this release, this release, this release. What do you? And then I'll do polls for what should I review next, and like that kind of stuff. What should I release onto YouTube next? I've been doing polls for that recently because a lot of videos, not like pickup videos, for instance, they don't go into Patreon as early release, but most of the reviews I do go into Patreon as early release videos. Sometimes they'll be early release by like months on end. Sometimes it'll just be like a couple days. But the stuff that goes into Patreon that is like releases I purchase with Patreon money, those reviews go into Patreon and they sit there until the patrons decide like that's the one you should put on YouTube this day. So if you're interested in seeing my reviews of like The Comrades, Almost a Love Story, Love on Delivery, The Adventurers, the Ringo Lam film. I will be reviewing the Eureka release of that, so you'll see that on the channel. But my original review of that from the Hong Kong Blu-ray is going to stay forever in Patreon. Okinawa Rendezvous, Sparrow, the Johnny To film, the Chameleon release. I just reviewed that for Patreon. There's a bunch of other like Bullets Over Summer is a Patreon exclusive because it was blocked worldwide by the rights holder. I reviewed the Vinegar Syndrome partner release of that from Connie, I think put that out. I love that movie. That's a Wilson Yip movie with Louis Koo, and it's just a phenomenal film. And that got I was actually really bummed that that got blocked worldwide because I was hoping to put that on YouTube. But so that's exclusively in Patreon. So it's a bunch of fun stuff over there. Let's jump into this video. The first movie I'm going to talk about here, I actually have a really interesting relationship with. The movie is The Eel. This movie was released in the late 90s, right? Like 1997, 98? 97. Hey, look at that. I got it. And are there two cuts on here? Includes the director's cut and the theatrical. Interesting. I've only ever seen the theatrical. And it's directed by Shohei Imamura, who's a very famous Japanese filmmaker, obviously. And it won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, as you can see right there on the cover. If you're unfamiliar with this film, it's a drama, basically, like in small town Japan. After serving time in prison for murdering his unfaithful wife, Yamashita is released on parole, accompanied only by his pet eel. Hoping to stay out of trouble, he takes over a rural barber shop, but the discovery of a woman's failed suicide starts a chain reaction that brings back his past demons. Oh, that brings back past demons and not just his own. So here's my interesting relationship with this film. I saw this when I was in high school, and it was one of the very first Japanese films I saw that was not like Miyazaki or something else that would have like a wide release in the United States. I was living in Middlebury, Vermont at the time. That's where I went to high school. We moved there when I was 15. So I did high school there, and my parents still live there. So it's like basically home. Like when I say I'm going home, I'm going to Middlebury, Vermont. And Middlebury College, when I was in high school, I don't know if they still do this. They used to show movies, and anyone could go. And they had this movie theater in one of the classroom buildings, and they would print like a schedule, and you could pick one up and then go see whatever was showing there. And I saw so many movies there when I was in high school that otherwise I may never have had access to, and this was one of them. And I really had no idea what to make of this movie. I thought it was like so strange and so intriguing. And this was probably around the year 2000 that I saw it. So I was probably like 17. And around that time was when I made up my mind that I wanted to go and live in Japan, that I wanted to study abroad in Japan. That was one of the main reasons I went to college and stayed in college because I almost dropped out to move to LA to try to like go to film school or like get into filmmaking as like a PA or something like that. One of the main reasons I stayed in college was that I wanted to go to Japan and I wanted to learn to speak Japanese. I wanted to live in Japan. And I kind of decided that when I was in high school. And And so I saw this film around the same time that idea was starting to percolate in my mind, and I just found it so fascinating and intriguing. And then I saw it again years later after living in Japan, and I had a very different relationship with it, obviously. And I haven't seen it in probably about a decade, maybe even longer. So I'm really interested in seeing it again. And so I'm really happy that Radiance has put this out. I'm sure that it looks phenomenal in this Blu-ray edition. So that is The Eel. And next we have, a very different type of cinema. Ninja movies, fuck yeah. I'm a little bit late in getting this. I think this may have come out last year. Like, I know that Frankie, Times Square Kung Fu did, like, a whole thing on Twitter about this set and how much he loved it and stuff like that, and I saw the clips that he posted, and I was like, "That looks fucking awesome." And as I said, I have recently rediscovered my love of Japanese cinema, and I'm really trying to dive deep and see as much as I can, and I was like, "Well, I can't pass up an opportunity to get my hands on this." So this is a 3-film set that is, it's region A and B, and the hard case box, you can hear that that's a limited, version, and I highly recommend getting these hard case box sets from Radiance because they're freaking amazing. I have the Bounty Hunter Trilogy hard case set, and I have the Dai Gothic set, which are those are, like, 2 of my favorite releases from last year. The Dai Gothic set really blew me away, and I thought was just incredible, and I loved those films. Um and and so I highly recommend getting these if you can, 'cause they look really nice. The films are very well protected. They're really well manufactured. I really love the artwork on here. So this is 3 films by Satsuo Yamamoto and Kazuo Mori that were released between '62 and '63. And, let me give you a little idea of what's going on here. A brash ninja in training is forced into action when a warlord wipes out his clan and murders his wife and child. Posing as a simple peasant by day, at night he carries out a carefully nurtured plan of robbery and assassination. So, I mean, the only thing that anyone could say to that is "fuck yeah." If you say anything other than "fuck yeah" when you hear that, I don't think we could be friends. Okay, so let's keep going with the Radiance Films release. We now enter the warped world of Sejun Suzuki. You probably know who that is if you know a lot about Japanese cinema, and if you don't, he's just a total nutcase. I think he fired when he turned in. Was it Branded to Kill? I've got my professional grandpa mug. I'm having some coffee. What are you drinking right now? Are you drinking coffee? Are you having a saucy beverage of some kind? Let me know in the comments. If I remember the story correctly, Seijun Suzuki has a very, very famous film, which I think the Criterion Collection has put out called Branded to Kill. And when he turned it into the studio, they were like so flabbergasted that they fired him. They were like, what the fuck is this movie? So, that I think came out in the late 60s. When is this one? From 1965. So probably around the same time, honestly. Um, I've never seen this movie before. It's only 87 minutes. It'll be a quick watch. It's called Tattooed Life. I can only assume that it is about the Yakuza since it is about tattoos, and Seijun Suzuki made a shit ton of Yakuza films. A low-level Yakuza, ding, 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 ding. Do I get bonus points? Is double-crossed by his boss and attacked. His younger brother comes to his aid and kills his assailant. Fearing repercussions, they flee to Manchuria, where they risk coming under the suspicion of rival gangs. Well, that sounds really interesting. I wonder what year this takes place in. If they're fleeing to Manchuria, is it during like the Japanese Empire of World War II? That sounds really interesting to me. Like I said, I know very little about this film. This is a Region A and B release, and shout out to Radiance for always putting out amazing films and being my drug dealer for my Japanese cinema addiction that I am currently nurturing. Um, Here we have this. So this film is called Toki Jiro, Lone Yakuza. So this movie was recommended to me, I think, by Frankie actually of Times Square Kung Fu, and I was asking after I watched a bunch of Japanese films in February. Like the 6 Kinji Fukasaku films that I had, which were a combination of Eureka and Radiance releases, and then I watched Big Time Gambling Boss, which is in my Letterboxd top 4 right now. And I watched, Yakuza Graveyard, which is a fucking phenomenal movie, and so I was asking for recommendations based on kind of my taste and what I had liked, and, Times Square Kung Fu, I think it was Frankie, recommended this film to me. And so I was very excited to check it out. This is the Radiance release. So it says, Toki Jiro is a wandering swordsman who finds himself caring for the family of a man he killed under the orders of a Yakuza boss. But the criminal gang won't stop until the whole family is dead, including anyone who dares step in his way. or in their way, excuse me. With this breathtakingly stylized film, Tai Kato broke all Yakuza genre conventions, fusing blood-spurting action with melodrama worthy of Japanese cinema's greatest masters. Okay, so that really does sound like exactly like what I love, because I love melodrama. It's like really well done melodrama that's really like deeply emotional and has social commentary in it, like Douglas Sirk and like Big Time Gambling Boss actually has a lot of that. And I like the blood spurting, as we all know. So I'm very excited for this film. This is region A and B. This is limited to 3,000 copies. At least the limited version is, which might be with the booklet, and I'm not exactly sure, but there you go. I'm very excited to check that film out. And again, get in the comments and let me know what I should review in which order. And so what should we do here? I got a couple. Let's do another Sejun Suzuki. And then I have another Tai Kato film. And then I have a Kinji Fukasaku film, which actually probably should have been in part one because I did all my other Fukasaku stuff in part one. So this is another Sejun Suzuki film. This was released in 1958. Wow. Okay. So significantly earlier than the other one we were talking about. It's called Underworld Beauty. Like, I love this cover art, dude. It's so like perfectly with the line right down the middle and the black and the white. That's so good with like the film noir shadows. I love it. Retrieving the diamonds he stashed before his arrest, thief Miyamoto hopes to help his old partner Mihara, crippled during the heist. A deal set up by their former boss, crime lord Oyane, goes awry when gunmen appear on the scene. Mihara swallows the diamonds but dies in the chase. Miyamoto joins Mihara's wildcat sister. Wow, okay. So this sounds completely nuts, dude. Lots of betrayals and death and murder and okay, I'm excited for this film. Hell yeah. 1958. I do love I mean, as you know, if you watch this channel, you will know the main era in Japanese cinema that I've seen a lot of films from and that I know quite a bit about from having read books and taking classes in college and stuff like that is like 40s, 50s, 60s. But really like up into the mid 60s. And so something like Seijun Suzuki, who is, I think he was innovating a lot and putting out some of his better known films in like the second half of the 60s. I'm not as familiar with his work or like Kinji Fukasaku, who really blew up, I think, in the early to mid 70s, even though he was making movies much earlier than that. I'm not as familiar with their work. So, but this is like 1958, like right smack dab in the middle of a lot of the stuff that I love and have seen quite a bit. And a ton of bonus material on here. So I'm really excited about that release. I'm really excited about all of these releases, and I'm going to say it over and over again because I just get excited about movies. A film by Tai Kato, 18 years in prison. Hell yeah. That's just like their artwork is so freaking good. I love the design of it. I love how bold it is and in your face it is. And I think that's Tobisaburo Wakayama, but I might be wrong about no, maybe it's not. Oh, he is in this film. Okay, but I don't think that's probably not him on the cover. Two innocents handling post-war contraband run afoul of the police. A gunfight sends Kawada, who is Noboru Ando, to jail, while his partner, who is Asao Koike, escapes and starts a gang. I don't want to read more than that because I don't know if there are any spoilers in there, but it says something about this genre classic is a clear precursor to Fukasaku's epic-making Battles Without Honor. So this is before Battles Without Honor and Humanity? Oh, 1967. Wow. Okay, what year did Toki Jiro? Did I say what year that came out? 66. Wow. Okay. I didn't realize these movies were so early. I thought they were after that. Okay, well now I'm really fascinated. Tony Raines is on here in the bonus material. Hell yeah. So yeah, I mean that sounds and like here's the problem that I'm really having right now. All of these movies sound amazing and all of these editions look incredible. And I've gotten about 30 Japanese movies in the past couple months. And on top of that, I've gotten probably just as many Hong Kong films and just as many films from all over the rest of the world. So like, oh, I've gotten hundreds of movies in the past couple months. I don't know what to watch. I have so much stuff that I'm having this like my brain seizes when I go to sit down to watch a movie and I have no idea what to watch. And I'm like, so let me know in the comments truly what you think the best of these films are, what order I should watch them and all of that stuff. So here's a Fukasaku film, which like I said, should have been in part one of this two-parter. This is from 1971. So this is pre-Street Mobster, pre-Battles Without Honor and Humanity, after Japanese organized crime boss, after The Threat, after Jakumon and Tetsu. It's called Sympathy for the Underdog. This is 93 minutes long. This is region A and B. Returning from a 10-year prison sentence, former gang leader Gunji, who's played by Koji Suruta, excuse me, Koji Suruta, finds that his turf has been taken over by his former enemy, now a large crime syndicate. Looking for new opportunities, he gathers his old crew and heads for the island of Okinawa. Oh, wow, an Okinawa movie. Okay. That sounds cool. I wonder if this is like a precursor to Beat Takeshi. Did at least one Okinawa movie, didn't he? Was it Fireworks? One of those movies takes place in Okinawa. Cool. Yeah, like I said, I know very little about this film, but I've been absolutely loving Kinji Fukasaku, so I'm really excited about that. So here's some stuff that is not Yakuza, not melodrama. These are newer films, and these are not from Radiance or Eureka or anybody like that. So the first one we have here, I've never even heard of this movie. Um, it's got like 6 different companies on the back here, so I'm not entirely sure who released it. It's called The Beast Hand. So Cleopatra, Real Suspects, and MVD. So MVD is probably the distributor of the physical media, and then I would guess maybe Real Suspects and Cleopatra are the companies that produced the film. Osamu, a Japanese day laborer, is forced into a lifestyle of crime. Unfortunately, when he crosses the wrong gangsters, they punish him by sword, amputating his left hand. Osamu's ex-girlfriend, Koyuki, takes him to an underground doctor deep in the dark bowels of the city to attempt a transplant. But the new hand has a mind of its own, much to the dismay of the gangsters. Is this like a horror revenge movie? Like zombie thing? This sounds fucking awesome. I just kind of looked at the cover of this and I was like, oh, it's like a zombie movie. And then I put it in my pile, but it sounds really fucking cool. It's like a Yakuza zombie revenge movie. Hell yeah. I'm excited about that. Okay, now we have the Great Yokai Wars, Guardians. I think I have another one of the Great Yokai War films, but I'm not entirely sure. This is a type of cinema I really know basically nothing about, which is like the tokusatsu. Is that what it's called? In the year 20XX, cities located along the Fossa Manga, a fault that runs from north to south across the Japan island, um, are destroyed by what my brain started going, which Japan island? Is it Honshu? Is it Kyushu? Appears what destroyed by what appears to be a storm or an earthquake. The route of destruction points toward Tokyo. Meanwhile, in Beijing, yokai from around the world come together for an international conference known as the Yummit, the Yokai Summit. I like it. They discover that the monsters formed from ancient underwater fossils have combined into one giant yokai and are moving towards this. So this sounds like Power Rangers meets Godzilla kind of thing. I don't know. I have been watching a lot of Power Rangers recently because my kids have gotten really into it. One of my younger son in particular like loves Power Rangers. So I like am starting to understand the language of these types of shows and movies, and I'm getting into it. So this should be fun. And then we have something with a very stunning cover here. Liver Leaf. So let's see what this is about. This is a DVD, and this film was released in 2017. It's Japanese with English subtitles. Haruka Nozaki transfers to a new school, but she is bullied there. The only person on her side is her classmate, Mitsuru Aiba. Then one day, a fire breaks out at home, killing her parents and severely injuring her younger sister. Haruka has an emotional breakdown and begins to take revenge on those responsible. Based on the popular manga series Misu Misao by Rensuke Oshikiri and released for the first time in North America. That sounds interesting. Yeah, I don't know much about this film, but it sounds interesting. If you do know anything about it, let me know. So that is part 2 of my monumental haul Japanese films that have landed on my lap over the past couple months. I'm very glad I finally recorded this. I'm really, really excited to start watching these movies, and I cannot overemphasize how badly I want you all to get in the comments and tell me what order I should be watching these films in, because I want to see them all. Oh shit. And I want to see them all ASAP. No, Eel, don't leave us. And I'm just not sure what I should be watching and when. So my name is Will. It's Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. Temporarily, I guess, Japanese Home Media Appreciation Society. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.